When was the first time that you had a concern about the whereabouts of your sister, Melissa?
When my dad walked into the Waffle House in February of '99 and asked me where my sister was.
Okay. Why was that a concern for you?
Because it was right after Mom's birthday. Mom's birthday is February 24th. If my sister didn't go see my mom, call my mom, or send her a card for my birthday, then something was wrong. Because Melissa always called Mom or got in touch with Mom or something on her birthday. Always. She never forgot Mom's birthday. I did. But she always remembered Mom's birthday.
Okay. And so this is February of '99. After he comes into the restaurant, what do you do after that?
Nothing. I just was like, I was surprised. I remember I called my grandmother and asked her why Dad was looking for Melissa. Because at the time he came in, it was lunchtime, so I was kind of busy. So I couldn't really sit down and talk to him and have a long conversation about what was going on. He just came in and said, "Where's your sister?" And I was like, "I don't know, why?" He said, "Well, I went to go look for her and I can't find her nowhere. Nobody knows where she is." I said, "Well, Dad, she doesn't work."
Just a moment, ma'am. Mr. Bassett.
I can move on with the additional questions.
And just as a reminder, ma'am, we generally, unless we're asking you to not necessarily tell us what other people told you, unless we specifically ask you about that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Bassett.
At any point, do you make any efforts to locate Melissa?
Well, I knew that they were looking, so I myself didn't.
And when you say they, who are you referring to?
Mom and Dad.
All right. And specifically, did you make any attempts to reach out to law enforcement or anything of that nature?
I did, but it wasn't until 2015.
Okay. And how did you go about that process of reaching out to law enforcement in 2015?
Well, the thing is, in 2015, there was a lot of the ID discovery shows. I kind of got addicted to them, and we already knew by then that Melissa had passed. So I kind of got angry, and that's when I really started trying to reach out to them and push.
Okay, so these are shows where crimes are being solved?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, so you started trying to reach out. Who you started trying to reach out to?
City of Atlanta, or anybody that would listen. Nobody wanted to really talk.
All right. And are you aware of any investigator was working on that case at that time?
It was Calhoun at that time.
All right. How did you come to find out about the particular officer involved?
Actually, Calhoun, we had already talked to him before that. It was, I think, 2003, I think it was, when we talked to him.
Okay. And 2003, was there anything else of significance that happened in 2003?
That was when we found out that she was dead.
Okay. Well, anything prior to that?
That was the same time that my dad was arrested.
All right. And what was he arrested for?
Murder.
All right. And so does your dad's arrest for murder, does that happen before or after you find out that Melissa was the identity of the remains?
Actually, it was the same time
Okay.
that I was notified.
I see. Okay. But you recall that as being the same year?
Yeah.
2003?
Same year, same day.
All right. And from that 2015 period up to, I guess, the point that we are now, did you make any additional attempts to contact law
Oh,
enforcement?
yeah. I tried.
Who did you contact and how many times did you try to do that?
Every time, 2015 was when I decided I was going to get the file on Melissa.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was trying to get the file on Melissa.
Okay.
On the case. I had problems getting it. I filed the Open Records Act probably 3 times. And they kept sending me emails back saying, no, they couldn't find the file. There wasn't a file.
Okay. And how many times did you attempt to do that?
That was 3 times then.
And what age? You said Atlanta Police Department you were attempting? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yes, sorry.
All right. Did you do anything else besides that? Try to get the open records request?
Yes. After the third time, I'd come down here the third time in person and filed it. I'd already talked to somebody with Henry County Sheriff's Department that came to the restaurant where I ate at. And he said, well, if there's a file. Okay.
You can't say what someone else said.
Yeah.
He just gave me a suggestion about what to do about the file.
All right.
I'm going to object to relevance, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow it. Overruled. Go ahead.
Okay. Did you reach out to anyone that wasn't with law enforcement?
Yes.
And
Well, no, she's really with law enforcement.
okay. All right. And did you continue to do that throughout that period of 2015?
Anybody who would listen to the story I told.
Did you conduct any interviews with any reporters or anything related to this story?
Of course.
Okay. And what was the point or purpose of you doing that?
Getting Melissa's story told.
And why were you trying to do that?
Because we wanted answers about her murder. We wanted an arrest.
Okay. Now, did you and Melissa have any conflict as you were growing up?
Of course. I mean, we were sisters.
Okay.
There's always some kind of conflict.
All right.
Nothing life-changing.
And the two instances where you were testifying as to the encounter that you had with the defendant at Waffle House and then at the residence, is that the only encounter that you had with this defendant?
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. McDermott?
You've spoken to the press and media a lot of times, haven't you?
Of course.
One of the things you've said is you've described how you and Melissa are kind of polar opposites.
Yes, we were.
She was a quiet, shy, reserved.
Yes.
And you are not quiet, shy.
Right. No, not at all. I'm
You
pretty
describe yourself
outspoken.
a little bit more rebellious
Yes.
when you were younger. Did you describe a period earlier that you had left for a couple years and didn't talk to your mom?
Yes.
And you previously told detectives that you couldn't talk to your mother. You just didn't get along with her.
I didn't get along with her for quite a while.
Okay. You described yourself as a daddy's girl
I was.
and Melissa as a mama's girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, let's just talk about this briefly. You've been in a little bit of trouble yourself too, haven't you?
Yes.
You were most recently convicted for possession of methamphetamines, is that correct? That was in 2021?
Yes.
And did you have a similar charge in 2022 or 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have previous drug charges before that?
No.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that Christopher worked for your dad at one time?
He did.
Would that have been a very, well,
Very short time.
it was a very short time, but it was very early in their relationship,
Yes.
wasn't it? What did you say, like 95 or so?
No, probably before that.
Okay. And what did Christopher do for you?
Well, my dad was a roofer.
Okay.
He had a roofing company, so
He spent a good bit of time up on the roof then, didn't he?
yeah.
And Christopher would have been there with him.
Yeah.
And so Christopher would have spent a good bit of time with your dad at that time,
Probably.
for however long it lasted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of times, Dad would go to other job sites and stuff too.
Now, you just described that you didn't know to be worried about Melissa until your dad came into the Waffle House where you worked.
Yes, sir.
And you said that was in February of '99.
Yes.
And that would have been right after your mother's birthday, is that correct?
Right.
And did your mom and dad come up there together?
No, it was just Dad.
Just your dad? And that's when he asked you about where's your sister? Mm-hmm. And
Yes, sir.
she didn't call it Christmas,
Right.
and she didn't call for your mom's birthday.
Right.
And that's when you said, wait a minute, something's wrong.
Right.
And what did you do after that?
I waited to see if Mom and Dad would find her, because that's what they were going to do. They were going to look for her. I was working night shift. It was hard for me to look for her.
And it was hard for you to look for her. And how long was it before you actually did start to look for her?
I couldn't look for her, and by the time 2003 came around and we found out she was dead, it wasn't until later that I started trying to do something.
I see. Do you remember saying to Detective Calhoun that after Carl came up to look for you at your old Waffle House, you went up to Brookline?
No.
If I
That
showed,
was way before that I went to Brookline.
if I showed you a transcript of your interview with Mr. Calhoun, would that refresh your recollection?
Probably.
Yeah, approach her.
Yes.
My apologies for the small print.
Very small,
I think it's 10.
maybe. But I have glasses on, so it's okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So does that refresh your recollection?
Yeah, it does.
So you did go up to Brookline after your dad came?
Yeah, because Dad wasn't exactly sure. He had a different address for him than where they actually were. I think the address he had for him was Washington Avenue, I think. It wasn't Brookline.
Do you remember also telling Detective Calhoun that when all this stuff first happened, I went up to the West End to Brookline and knocked on the door?
Before what happened?
Those were your words. You talked to an aunt or a cousin there?
Aunt or a cousin? No, I never talked to an aunt or a cousin.
If I showed you a transcript, would that refresh your recollection?
Yeah. Where?
You do not. Thank you.
I don't remember that. No, I don't remember that.
That doesn't refresh it?
No, I don't remember that.
You deny saying that?
I don't remember saying that.
You deny?
I don't I know that I don't remember ever knocking on a door and a cousin or something like that answering the door.
You remember that house?
I know I went to Brookline after I saw my dad.
Do you remember the house that Christopher and Melissa lived in was a duplex?
Yeah.
And that their relatives lived in this second?
There was a uncle or something that was deaf that lived on one side of Chris and Melissa.
So do you not deny
blind.
making this statement that you talked to somebody at the house?
I don't remember talking to anybody at the house, but I know I went to Brookline, but I don't remember saying to Calhoun that I talked to somebody.
Okay, I just need you to focus on my question. I know you don't remember now, but I'm asking, do you deny saying it?
Hang on, there's an objection, so just one moment.
The witness has answered the question. He's demanding an acceptance or denial. She simply stated she doesn't recall. So I don't think she's at a position where she's ready to say, I deny it, because she doesn't remember. She doesn't remember.
I'll move
She's
on.
answered the question.
I'll move on.
Mr. McDermott,
I'll move on.
go ahead.
Do you remember Detective Calhoun asking you about your father, and could he have had anything to do with Melissa?
Yes, I do.
And do you remember saying, no, he's mellowed out as he got older?
I don't think that was exactly what I said, but I know I told him that there was no way it had anything to do with my dad and that my dad would not do that. Actually, I took offense to it.
Do you remember also telling Calhoun immediately after that you and your sister and your mother were the most important things in his life?
In whose life? My dad's?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you remember saying that he would kill anybody for you?
For us, yes.
If anybody was messing with you, they were gone?
Yeah.
That was all it was. And do you remember telling Calhoun it didn't matter who it was?
That's true.
Does that sound like a man who had mellowed out?
Your Honor, objection. The question initially was speculative in nature, or was asking a speculative question. I think he's coming back to what she thinks her father could or couldn't have done, and I'm object to the form of the question.
I'm going to sustain the objection to the form of the question, and you can rephrase it, sir.
I'll move on, Your Honor. You have stated that through the period that you knew Melissa at the Waffle House and whatnot, that you worked hard to get Melissa away from Christopher.
Yes, I did.
And you said that you didn't like him,
No.
and that nobody in your family liked him.
No, we didn't.
Do you remember saying that to Detective Calhoun?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember telling him, do you remember saying on a podcast that Mom and Dad don't even know how much I tried to get Melissa away from Chris behind closed door?
Yes, I do.
And you did all that while you were working at Waffle House. And you persuaded her to come live with you for 2 weeks, right?
Right.
And you said just a while ago on direct testimony that you claimed that she left your house because she wanted to go see her kids.
She wanted to go back home to her kids after a week.
After a week. And that's when you took
Supposed to have
her,
been 2 weeks.
and you took her back up to Brookline.
Yeah.
And are you aware that her kids didn't live with her at Brookline?
They were always there when I went. Anytime I saw her at Brookline, they were there.
You were aware that at that time she didn't have custody of those children?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Do you remember? Do you remember Detective Calhoun telling you that she didn't have custody of her children at that time?
Hang on, yeah, thank you.
Objection. Here's the objection, Your Honor.
Mr. McDermott, response?
It's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It's being offered to her recollection that it was said to her and what her reaction was.
I'm going to overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that she wouldn't just up and disappear on her kids like that?
I do remember saying that.
And he told you she didn't have custody of them?
I don't remember that exactly. But I know he said something to me about the kids.
If I showed you a transcript of that discussion, would it refresh your recollection?
Where? Okay. But I didn't know that.
And this interview was in 2003, correct?
Yes.
So you've known since 2003 that she didn't have custody of her children, correct?
That's what I was told.
So
And I learned.
your testimony here today still is that you took her back to Brookline so she could see her children.
That's what she told me she wanted to go back to Brookline for, was because of her kids.
Because of her kids. Okay, thank you. You said that Melissa was actually close to Troy, your boyfriend.
No?
Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that that was one of the few people she was close to?
I don't remember saying that.
If I showed you a transcript of that, would it refresh your recollection?
Yeah. Where? Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Not really.
Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that she was also close to your husband David at the time?
I kind of, a little bit remember that. Something about David.
Is that David Burns?
Yeah.
And where is he today?
Hopefully in jail
And why was he sent to jail?
for molesting my daughter.
Do you remember, obviously I've asked you several times if you remember talking to Detective Calhoun in 2003. Mm-hmm. Do you remember in that interview that he asked you when was the last time you saw Melissa?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember telling him, similar to the story you told here a while ago, that it was in March on your birthday,
It was March, the same week of my birthday.
the same week of your birthday? And you remembered that clearly because,
Because it was my birthday and she brought me a cake.
and she brought you a birthday cookie.
Yep.
And you worked at the Waffle House by the airport, and the WWE wrestlers came in on that night.
Yeah. I remember that.
And you and Melissa were both WWE fans.
Yeah.
And you said, but she just missed them that night.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that that was in March of 1999?
I don't remember saying 99, but I was probably confused about the year because it was 98. 99 was when she was found.
But you agree with me that she was not found until April 29th?
Yep.
But do you remember having that conversation with him that your mother had told you it can't be 99, it had to be 98?
I think that was later on when me and Mom were talking, because at that time I don't think me and Mom were really talking that much.
If I showed you a transcript, would it refresh your memory?
Yeah. I do remember her telling me that one time.
And that was before the interview with Detective Calhoun, obviously.
No, I think that was not before the interview. I think that was later on. I think she said something to me about it.
If this is a transcript of the interview with Calhoun, and you're telling him about your mom talking to you before that interview,
Mom wasn't with me that day. I went to see Calhoun by myself.
and when you're talking to Calhoun, you said, I talked to my mom yesterday. Isn't that what you just read?
Yeah, that's what I just read, but I think that was a different time.
Do you think,
Different time that I talked to Calhoun. That wasn't the first time that I talked to Calhoun.
but now I'm confused. You gave multiple interviews to Detective Calhoun?
I talked to Calhoun several times.
And this was in 2003, correct?
Right.
Okay. So, as of this interview, you were telling him that you were certain that it was March of 1999, but that you had talked to your mom the day before and she was trying to get you to change your mind. Is that what you just read?
That's what I read, but I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't remember that happening then when I saw him the first time.
Do you remember just telling us a while ago that you grew concerned about Melissa when your father came into the Waffle House in East Point in February of 1999?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So you were working there in that time frame?
At a different Waffle House I was. I was at a different Waffle House when Dad came to see me.
You just testified.
I was at Waffle House. But it wasn't the same Waffle House we worked at.
Okay, I'm going to go back and ask you again for the record. Do you remember stating on a podcast, I didn't get concerned until I was at work one morning at Waffle House in East Point, and here comes my dad walking in the door,
Yeah.
talking about where's your sister?
Yeah.
And that was in February of 1999.
Right?
Okay.
What's the question?
Well, I thought you just told me that you were working in a different Waffle House
I
when this
was.
happened.
It was the one in East Point, but that wasn't what you said earlier.
So you were working at the Waffle House in East Point at this time?
Yes.
Okay,
Washington Road.
that was my question. And is that where Melissa came to see you?
No.
What Waffle House was that in?
Virginia Avenue.
Okay. And where's the Waffle House in East Point at?
Washington Road.
Washington Road. The one by Spawn Divots.
No. That is Virginia Avenue.
Okay.
It's also East Point. There's two East Point
East Point
applications.
Waffle Houses. I see.
Location.
When you saw Melissa leave that night, the last time you saw her, was she by herself or with somebody?
She was by herself.
And how did she leave?
She just left in a car.
In a car? Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun she was in a white Ford pickup?
It's possible. They only had two vehicles that I ever saw.
And she was driving the vehicle?
She was driving it.
Do you know who owned that vehicle?
Probably Chris.
Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun that that car was in her name?
There was another car that I think I said was in her name. But that's what she told me.
If I showed you a transcript of that discussion, would you refresh your memory?
I said, I think.
Did you tell Calhoun at that time that you think it's in Chris's name? Or did you tell him that you think it's in Melissa's name?
Well, it says there that I thought it was in Melissa's. So that's probably what I said, but there was another car that was supposed to have been in Melissa's name.
Now, you just told us about an altercation that allegedly occurred between Troy McClendon
Thank you.
and Mr. Wolfenbarger. And You told it a little different than you did the first time. Or at least as you told Detective Calhoun. And I'd like to walk through some of those details.
Okay.
When you testified a while ago, you said that she came back, they came into Waffle House together, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Melissa and Chris?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Melissa walked to the back with you. And she was in tears.
Yes.
And you noted these handprint marks on her neck.
Right.
And you said to her, did Chris do that to you?
Yeah.
And she didn't say anything.
Right.
And you said you went to go do something and she stopped you?
Yeah.
What were you going to go do?
I was going to confront Chris.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Calhoun a different version of that story where you asked her, what's wrong with your neck? And she said, Chris tried to choke me.
Probably. I don't remember exactly. That was a long time ago.
But you're testifying under oath here today that she didn't say anything back.
I'm sure when I was walking away, she was trying to stop me, which she would have said something.
But she didn't say anything back when you asked about the neck.
She cried. She didn't have to say anything.
But you told Calhoun that she did respond to you. Correct?
I guess. I mean,
And you said that as you were starting to come out the back, Troy McClendon was coming through the swinging doors to the back.
yeah.
Yeah. And when you talked to Calhoun, you said you were coming outside and Troy was just coming in the front door.
No. That wasn't what I meant. There's one swinging door between the front and the back. You have to go through
So
that.
you're referring to the front as just the restaurant part?
Right.
Okay. And you remember telling Calhoun that when they came in, Chris sat down at the high top.
No, he sat down in a booth.
If I showed you a transcript, would that refresh your recollection?
Is that a yes?
Yes. Oh, okay. That was when they were coming in the door. When they had come in.
So when they came in, Chris sat down at the high top, correct?
Yes, so.
And for those without Waffle House lingo, the high top is kind of the bar with the tall stools.
Yes.
I don't need to explain that to an Atlanta jury, I'm sure. But then you said when you came out, you talked to Troy, and then Troy went to confront Chris.
Right.
And then he went over and Chris was in a booth by the window.
Right, because he had moved.
And Melissa was in the seat beside him, correct?
No, Melissa was still in the back. Melissa wasn't out front yet.
If I showed you a transcript, would that refresh your recollection?
Mm-hmm. Other side of the booth. Okay, yeah.
On the outside of the booth, is that correct?
The other, I probably said that outside,
Outer side of the
but
booth.
she was on the opposite side of the table from Chris.
How did she transport from the back suddenly to the table?
Because she went out the back door to go out front. She went the opposite way of where I went. I went straight to the front. She went, there's another door behind the office that goes to the restrooms.
Okay.
So she would have went out that door and went out front trying to beat me to the front. But Troy had stopped me.
And he had to reach across Melissa to slap Chris, is that correct?
He reached across the table to slap Chris.
But he had to reach across Melissa.
I don't remember Melissa sitting on that side. I think it was the other side.
Okay. So you've told different versions of this story, different details as time's
It
gone
was
on,
a
haven't
long time ago.
you? Yeah. You've also told us this story that Christopher just one day blurted out at Waffle House, he knows how to kill somebody and get away with it.
He did.
And you said you had no idea where that phrase came from.
No.
But didn't you just tell us that Christopher used to work and spend the day on the roofs with your father?
And
And your father was convicted of murders he committed back in 1970s?
so my
And he used-
dad never said anything like that.
How do you know? Were you on the roof with Chris?
My dad would never say anything like that.
I'm asking you, were you on the roof with Chris?
No, I wasn't.
I'm objecting. I believe this is argumentative. Mr. Witness.
Overruled. Move on, please.
So, just one more time. You were never on the roof with Chris.
No,
You weren't there when he spent time with your father.
no.
And you don't know what your father might have boasted about.
My dad never boasted about what he did.
Not around you, correct?
They never talked about what he did.
You can only talk about what you know, correct?
I know my dad never talked about what they did.
All right. Excuse me, no further questions.
Thank you. Anything else for this witness, Mr. Fossett? Redirect.
Ms. Patton, when you confronted Chris at the residence, you were testifying previously to dropping Melissa off at the residence. What residence was that?
Brookline.
Okay. And that was still during that 1998 period? All right. And that,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Sorry.
you. That's okay.
all right. And if we're talking about the year she was found, the year her skull
sir.
and remains were found, you recall that as being 1999?
Yes, it was.
All right.
99.
Now, if you could, to the best of your recollection, think back to that period of time when you were working with your sister, and I get the Waffle Houses confused myself, and that's the Virginia Avenue Waffle House. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. What year was that?
It was 97 when she worked with me.
All right. And was that the beginning of 97?
It was the end of 97.
Do you recall if it was December, November, October?
Well, it was the end of December. It was the end of the year. But it was March when she came to see me of 98, and she had already left that Waffle House.
All right. And your testimony was that she left right after she got the 6-month vacation check?
Right.
So if she started at the end of 97, would 6 months have taken us to the end of 98?
No, I think it was, how can I explain it? If she started in like September, then it would have been September, October, November, December. There would have been 4 months right there. By the time my birthday got there in March, she had already left that Waffle House because she was at the one on, what was it? Doraville. She
So-
told me she was at Doraville.
So she would have left, I guess started early enough in 97 to hit 6 months
Right.
before your birthday in March.
Right.
Okay. Now, you were just testifying as to the events that occurred at Waffle House.
Right.
You just testified about the booth, about the high chair. Have you seen, like you were showed the transcript, before the defense attorney showed you a copy of your statement,
Right.
the multiple statements.
Right.
Had you seen those transcripts prior to today's date?
No.
All right, you hadn't studied those transcripts?
No.
And we're talking about events that occurred in 1998?
Right.
And